Hello, everyone. I'm Speranza Walsh, and this is Art from the Heart, St. Augustine's Church. And today we're going to do more of the application of negative painting, and we are going to paint snowdrops. So let's make a start in painting snowdrops. Oh yes, and if you're wondering, yes, I do have my vision glasses and my reading glasses. So I hope you don't find it too strange. So let's just focus on the art piece. This is the art piece that I was referring to about snowdrops. This is what we did in the class in the previous session. So we are going to do this for this session online now. And the first thing to do would be to draw the flowers. Again, this is an application of negative painting. So I have 3 flowers here. And if we can see, one of the flowers is located in this quadrant. So like so. So I am going to draw that flower there. So it's just like drawing that narrow part of the egg. And then we continue that point to a sort of slightly curved line, then to a very sharp curve, and then going back in. And then this one, similarly, like so. And then here, another one. So this is our first snowdrop. Okay, I'm not going to do it exactly like this, but I would definitely have 3 flowers in this art piece. And then here, I'm going to draw the stem. I will begin with that part of the stem which connects to the flower. So it's like a triangle, but with this open area instead of intersecting somewhere here. We have that open area. And then going up a little bit, and then curving, sharp curve there, and then going down. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing to this side. So sharp curve there, and then going down. Lovely. Now the next thing is the next one. To create a better balance for the one we're doing, I'm going to lower down the flower slightly. So again, it's just like drawing that part of the egg, which is narrow, continuing it, and then curving back inwards like so. And here as well. And then we just close it like that. Okay, I think it's too round, so let me just change the shape slightly, like so. Okay, and then here, soften that a little bit. Okay, we now have 2 flowers, again the stem. So we paint this bit here first. I'm sorry, we draw this bit here first, which is sort of like a triangle open in one intersection. And then this one, then sharp curve here, then going down. And this one parallel to that, or almost parallel, sharp curve there, then going down. And then we don't draw over what we've already drawn earlier. Okay, and then we do the other side of that stem. So we now have 2 flowers. Now 1 more to go. So this one would be slightly bigger, but again, similar to the shape of the earlier ones, like the narrow part of the egg, just a bit wider. Okay. And then here we have this. Fantastic. Okay, now just the stem. So we create that almost triangular bit over there. And then we draw this sharp curve, small one, and then go down. And then again, similarly on this side, parallel to this line. So we do that. And now we have our sketch. And the first thing we have to do is to paint this with water all around the drawing. So I'm going to paint this bit first. Okay, the outer wider bit first. And we will paint this with blue for our background, like so. Oh, we will paint it with water first so that we can create a sort of flat wash for the background in blue. And we will paint the blue later on. So I need to turn this around so that I can paint the other side of the drawing with water. So again, remember, we're painting water around the flower, not in it. Around the stems, not in it. So we continue to paint it with water. So again, those are just water, clean water. Like so. And then we paint this part with water as well. I need to turn it around so that I can make sure I paint everything with water. Well, everything I need to paint with water. Like so. Oh, and there's this small area here as well. Okay, so now we painted it with water. It's time to get blue paint and paint the background. Okay, for the background, I will start here. So, yeah, okay. So, I will paint around the flower and just let the paint mix with the water I've initially painted it with. So, I will paint this area like so. Turn it a little bit. And then paint some more blue here. And then I am going to continue by painting this area now. Again, as you can see, the paint spreads into the water. And yes, I am not using a round brush, but please do use a round brush for this one. This is not a flat brush. This is something like a sword brush, but I can't remember the exact name. The sword brush is slightly longer. By the way, as I was telling my students earlier, for the stem, the best brush to use is actually a rigger because it's like a round brush with longer bristles. But this will do for this activity, or a regular round brush would do for this as well. So here I have to paint this inner bit. Oh dear, I think it's drying quite fast. So let me just turn it around. Okay, here as well. Again, just let it flow into the water that we painted initially. Now some parts of it might have already dried, so we have to make sure that we work fast so that we can still achieve that flat wash. Otherwise, we need to wet it with water again. Okay, fantastic. So let me just make sure I have no puddles. I actually do have puddles here. So what I'm gonna do is just to lift the paint, excess paint, with my brush. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, here I think it's too dark. I'm going to lift this a bit to create some balance. Move some of the paint, the light into the lighter areas. Like so. Oh, fantastic. Oh dear, I still have a puddle over here. So let me lift that. Okay, I think that should be good. Now we just have to let it dry. Well, it's almost completely dry now, so we can proceed. The areas that we need to paint, there's already space, a dry space between them and the wet area. So we can now start painting. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just to put some highlights on the flower itself. So just like a thin shadow here, like so. And again, I will do that for this one. Okay, so all the shadows are now in place on the flower itself. So now we are going to work on the stem. So I'm going to use light green, or that's my regular green paint, or sap green with some yellow paint on it. So I'm just going to paint this part of the stem, the one connecting the flower to the stem. So that triangular bit. Yes, and if the paint spreads on the flower, that's all right. Okay, so now we've done that bit. Now we will go into the dark green part. So you can use sap green for this or any dark green paint. So I'm going to paint this, just painting the stem. And again, if the paint uh, bleeds into each other, that's all right, just let it. So here as well. So again, this is an application of negative painting. As you can see, we didn't paint the flowers white. What we did is actually to paint around it and then just to put some um, highlights to create shadows, to create the dimensions of the flower. Now we've used the gray for this one, for the shadows, but you can actually use other colors. I mean, purple is a good color to use for shadow. So is blue, and in some cases brown. So we must consider the lighting as well. So if the lighting on our art piece is yellow, we would be using a brownish type of shadow. If it's white light, we can use blue. So it depends on the lighting. Okay, almost there. I just need to put another layer because I find it too light. Perfect. Now we just need to put the shadow on the stems, and I am going to use diluted black paint for that to create gray. Yes, and that is to create dimension of the stems. So we just paint the sides to create the dimension of the stems. So we're almost there. Again, if the paint spreads, just let it spread. One moment, just let it spread. Okay, and we do the same thing for the rest of the stems. And then we can start painting the leaves after this. So again, this is to create the dimension of our stems. So again, just paint the sides with your diluted black paint. Perfect. Now, we're going to get some blue paint for the first layer of leaves. So I'm going to paint some blue leaves here. Blue leaves. Okay. And then here. Okay, I think I shouldn't have painted on over the stem. So let me rectify that for that one. So again, we don't paint over the flowers. Okay, that seems to be great. So more leaves here and here. Now we mix some blue paint with black. This is the second layer of leaves. So here I have slightly darker leaves. So here and here. So slightly darker leaves. Oops. Those. Like so. One more. Here at the edge. Okay, we're doing very good. Now we will paint a layer of black leaves, which would cover some part of the stem. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. Almost there. Now let me just check if I'm happy. Wow, I am actually quite happy. And then I just soften this bit. And now I have my new masterpiece, which are snowdrops. Okay, in the resolution here, we could not really see the shadows clearly. Uh, that's because of the resolution of the camera. But in essence, we are able to show the application of negative painting in this art piece. So for more application of negative painting, I'll see you in the following sessions. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.